Would you like to connect and run .NET apps to Autonomous Transaction Processing? If so, let's get started. In this example, I've already provisioned an ATP database instance called HRDemo with an admin user. If you need help with this, go to the ATP Help Center, click Videos, select and watch the Provision Autonomous Transaction Processing video. Next, from the ATP Help Center, select Books. Open the Using Oracle Autonomous Transaction Processing book and navigate to the topic titled Connecting with Microsoft.NET and Visual Studio. Click Developing .NET Applications for Oracle Autonomous Database. In this example, you run the .NET app from Visual Studio, which you have already installed. You also must have an OTN account. Click on the ODT link for your version of Visual Studio. Select Accept License Agreement. Select ODAC link for your Visual Studio version and download it. Go to the location of the downloaded file, right-click it, and run as administrator. Make sure Visual Studio is closed. Install to the default location Program Files x86 under C drive. Open Visual Studio and click on Help. Then select About Visual Studio to make sure ODT installed correctly. Oracle Developer Tools is one of the installed products. Now that ODT has been installed, it's time to download the client wallet. Go to the Service Details page for your instance. Select DB Connection. Select Download and follow on-screen instructions to define a password and complete the download. Copy all credential files from the temporary folder. Paste all files to the subdirectory called Admin under Network and in the same location ODT was installed. Get administrator permission. This is necessary because you're copying to the default location in the Program Files directory. Click Continue. Run Notepad as administrator. Open SQLnet.aura. Edit the path to point to the location where you just extracted the files, and save. Now that the wallet's been downloaded, you can connect to the HRDemo DB instance from Visual Studio. From Visual Studio's Server Explorer, right-click on Data Connections and select Add Connection. If needed, change data source to ODP.NET Managed Driver. For username, enter admin and enter the admin password. Select HRDemo_low for the data source name, which is defined in the client credentials file tnsnames.aura. Click Test Connection. Visual Studio successfully connects to the cloud service database using .NET. Click OK. Click OK to add the new connection. The example app you're about to run assumes you have an additional HR user defined for the ATP database instance named HRDemo. To do this, select the admin.hrdemo_low data connection. Click Data, then Query window. In the Query window, enter Create User HR User identified by quote password unquote semicolon. Password is the password you want to define for the HR user database connection. On the next line, enter grant connect, resource, unlimited table space to HR user, semicolon. Run the query to add HR user to the HRDemo ATP instance. Add a database connection for HR user by right-clicking on Data Connections in Server Explorer and select Add Connection. If needed, change data source to ODP.NET Managed Driver. For username, enter HR user and enter the HR user password. Select HRDemo_low for the data source name, which is defined in the client credentials file tnsnames.aura. Click Test Connection. Visual Studio successfully connects to the cloud service database using .NET. Click OK. Click OK to add the HR user database connection. The example app you're about to run assumes you have an ATP database instance named HRDemo with the same HR schema configured. To download the SQL scripts to create and populate this schema, go to livesql.oracle.com and sign in. Click Code Library. Search on HR objects and data for LiveSQL and select it. Click the download icon and save to your machine. From Visual Studio, select Tools, then Run SQL plus Script. Enter the location of the SQL script you just downloaded. For connection information, select the HR user connection you just created. Click Run. In the Server Explorer panel, open the HR user data connection. You can see the HR schema tables in your cloud service. Create a new project to hold the .NET app and its dependencies. From Visual Studio, select File, New, and Project. Create a new project using a Visual C# template for a console app that uses the .NET framework. In this example, the app name is NetApp. Click OK. A shell of example code is loaded into Visual Studio. From the .NET Developer Center at otn.oracle.com/dotnet, scroll to and select the GitHub icon. Click the video-demos/connect.net apps to ATP folder. Then select datareader.cs. Copy all of the example code. Replace all of the example code in Visual Studio with the GitHub code. Replace the namespace with the NetApp class. To tell Visual Studio where odp.net is located, under Solution Explorer, open References. Right-click and select Add Reference. Use the Browse button at the bottom to navigate back to the location you provided when you ran the installer. Go to the odp.net folder, click Managed, then Common, and select Oracle Managed Data Access.dll. Click Add, then OK. Change user ID to HR user and password to the password you defined for this user. Uncomment the data source line. Replace service name alias with HRDemo_low. Select Build from the menu, then Rebuild Solution. To start the app, click Debug from the menu, select Start Debugging. Congratulations, a results window appears showing the app return values from the ATP HR Demo database instance.